2Chronicles 26. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, the ISR, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last and the only, and he's an extremely jealous El. He's so jealous that he doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips, and Yah is short for YahWeh, YahWeh, Yod-He, Vav-He. There's no difference. It's like saying Dan, Daniel with an E. What is a difference and does matter is when people say that Phil, Bob, Sam, and Aaron are the same name, because no, they're not. And no one in their right mind would ever believe that, and only a fool would believe that a hammer could force its creator to do anything. And there was no letter J in the Hebrew, Greek, or Aramaic texts, because the letter J is only about 600 years old, while the son of Elohim, Yehoshua, died on a stake for the sins of all of humanity over 2,000 years ago. And a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Yehoshua is Joshua, and I strongly believe that the son of Elohim's name, Yehoshua, means YahWeh is salvation. Excuse me. 26. And the people of Yehuda took Uzziah, Uzziyahu, who was 16 years old, and set him up to reign instead of his father Amaziah, Amatsyahu, and he built Iloth, E with a half a check mark, Yloth, and restored it to Yehuda after the sovereign slept with his fathers. And Uzziah was 16 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Yekoliah, excuse me, Yek with a line underneath of it, Olyah of Jerusalem, and he did what was right in the eyes of YahWeh according to all that his father Amaziah did. And he sought Elohim in the days of Zechariah, who had understanding in the visions of Elohim. And while he sought YahWeh, Elohim made him prosper, and he went out and fought against the Philistines and broke down the wall of Gath, Gath, and the wall of Yabneh, Yab with a line underneath of it, Neh, and the wall of Ashdod, Ashdod with a line underneath of it, and built cities around Ashdod and among the Philistines. And Elohim helped him against the Philistines and against the Arabians who lived in Gur-Baal. Gur, Baal is B-A'-Al. Lord is Greek for Baal, and Baal is another name for Zeus, as the Bible would say. And the Meunites, M-E'-Unites, and the Ammonites gave gifts to Uzziah, and his name spread as far as the entrance of Mitzrayim, for he strengthened himself greatly. And Uzziah built towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate and at the valley gate, and at the corner buttress, and strengthened them. And he built towers in the wilderness and dug many wells, for he had much livestock, both in the low country and in the plain, farmers and vine dressers, in the mountains and in Carmel, Karmel, for he loved the soil. And Uzziah had an army of fighting men who went out to battle by divisions according to the number of their roll, as prepared by Yael, Ye', with a half a check mark, L, the scribe, and Messiah, M'As, E with a half a check mark, Yahu, the officer under the hand of Hananiah, H with a dot, Ananyahu, of the sovereign's commanders. The total number of the clan's chiefs and the mighty brave ones was 2,600. And under their hand was an army of 307,500 that fought with mighty power to help the sovereign against the enemy. And Uzziah prepared for them, for the entire army, shields and spears and helmets and body armor and bows and sling stones. And he made machines in Jerusalem. Devised by skilled men to be on the towers and the corners to shoot arrows and large stones. And his name spread far and wide, for he was marvelously helped till he became strong. But when he became strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction, for he trespassed against YahWeh his Elohim by entering the Hekel of YahWeh. Hekel is H-E with a half a check mark, K with a line underneath of it, A-L. Excuse me. Of YahWeh, to burn incense on the slaughter place of incense. And Azariah, Azaryahu, the priest, went in after him, and with him were 80 priests of YahWeh who were brave men. Excuse me. And they stood up against sovereign Uzziah and said to him, it is not for you, Uzziah, to burn incense to YahWeh, but for the priests, the sons of Aaron, who are set apart to burn incense. Get out of the set apart place, for you have trespassed, and there is no esteem to you from YahWeh Elohim. And Uzziah was wroth, and he had a censer in his hand to burn incense, and while he was wroth with the priest, leprosy broke out on his forehead before the priests in the house of YahWeh beside the incense slaughter place. And Azariah, the chief priest, and all the priests looked at him and saw that he was leprous on his forehead, and they hurried him from there. And he also hurried to get out, because YahWeh had struck him, and sovereign Uzziah was a leper until the day of his death, and dwelt in a separate house, because he was a leper, for he was cut off from the house of YahWeh. And Jotham, Yotham, his son, was over the sovereign's house, ruling the people of the land. And the rest of the acts of Uzziah, from the first to the last, the prophet Yeshaiah, the son of Amots, wrote. Amots wrote. So Uzziah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the field. Of the burial place which belonged to the sovereigns, for they said, he is a leper, and Jotham his son reigned in his place.